Cellular Organization and Life Processes, page 23. Recap, Section A. All living things have basic needs: a source of energy, water, and other materials such as minerals and gases, and an appropriate living space. In some cases, having too much of something may be as harmful to the organism as not having enough. For example, the roots of land plants need water, but too much water means there's no air spaces in the soil, causing the roots to die. While the needs of plants and animals are similar, the ways in which these needs are met may differ. For instance, the need for food is met differently in plants than it is in animals. Plants get their energy for life processes from food which they make. Green plants contain chlorophyll and use energy from sunlight to make their food, sugar. The energy stored in food is released during cellular respiration and is used to carry out other life processes in the plant. Plants also use sugar molecules to make other molecules, such as proteins, that are needed for growth, repair, and development. Plants store the food they do not need immediately. The stored food may be used later by the plant or by other living things in the ecosystem that eat the plants. Animals must eat other organisms to get food and other nutrients. The energy released from food during cellular respiration is used to carry out life processes. Section B. Organisms are classified as unicellular or multicellular. A unicellular organism only has one cell. A multicellular organism is made up of more than one cell. In a unicellular organism, all the life processes must be done in the one cell and are carried out by the specialized structures within the cell. The following are examples of unicellular organisms. Unicellular protists, such as amoeba and paramecium. Unicellular bacteria, such as Spirella and cocci. Multicellular organisms differ in the way they are organized. Some are quite simple, such as sponges and jellyfish, and have only a few different types of cells. Others have many types of very specialized cells within complex levels of organization. The human body, for example, has trillions of cells grouped to do specific jobs for the whole organism. Section C. There may be as many as 5 levels of organization in multicellular organisms. A group of similar cells that perform the same function form a tissue. Examples are muscle tissues and nerve tissue in an animal, and palisade tissue in a leaf. Several types of tissues that work together make up an organ. A stomach is made up of muscle tissue, nerve tissue, connective tissue, and others. A leaf has a palisade tissue, epidermal tissue, spongy tissue, and others. Organs are grouped together in systems to carry out major life function. The stomach and intestine are part of an animal's digestive system. Other animal systems include the circulatory, skeletal, respiration, excretory, reproductive, and nervous systems. All of the leaves on a plant make up a system. The flowers contain the organs of a plant's reproductive system. In simple multicellular organisms such as sponges and jellyfish, cells are organized into tissues, but there are no organs or systems. Complex organisms, those with many specialized and well-organized organs, have several systems. Drawings are not comparable in scale. Section D. Cells perform functions and processes including cellular respiration, waste breakdown and removal, growth and division, and cellular transport. Cellular respiration is a chemical process that takes place in the mitochondria of a cell. Energy stored in food molecules is made available for the cells to use. Food such as sugars and oxygen are combined. Water and carbon dioxide are the waste products of cellular respiration. Cellular transport is the movement of materials in and out of a cell through the cell membrane. The movement may be passive or active. Passive transport means that the cell does not use the energy to move molecules. Osmosis is a passive transport of water molecules through a cell membrane. Diffusion is the passive transport of substances other than water through the cell membrane. For both of these processes, molecules move from an area of high concentration to an area of lower concentration. The random movement of molecules across the cell membrane never stops, even after equilibrium is reached. In the following diagrams, the larger circles represent a cell, and the smaller circles represent molecules of oxygen. There are many other kinds of molecules inside and outside of a cell, which are not shown in the diagram. After diffusion, the concentration of oxygen molecules is the same outside and inside the cell. So the picture on the left here is before diffusion. You'll see that there's only 4 oxygen molecules outside. And then after diffusion, you'll see that there's more of an equilibrium between the oxygen molecules inside and outside of the cell. Selective permeability is the property of a membrane that allows some materials to pass across easily, while others are either regulated or not able to pass through. Active transport refers to the movement of particles from an area of low concentration to an area of higher concentration. This is called active transport because the cell must use energy to move substances across the cell membrane in the direction opposite to normal diffusion. Section E. Living things carry out the life processes including ingestion, digestion, and removal of waste, stimulus response, growth and repair, gas exchange, and reproduction. Life processes take place at the cellular and at the organism level. In unicellular organisms, all of the necessary life processes take place in the one cell. In multicellular organisms, certain processes take place in each cell, such as cellular respiration, excretion of waste materials from the cell. However, these processes are managed by organs and organ systems for the entire organism, such as the respiratory system and the excretory system. The cells of complex organisms exhibit division of labor. Ingestion. Ingestion means taking food and other substances into the body. Cells take in substances through the cell membrane. Most animals ingest substances, such as food and water, through the mouth, which is part of the digestive system. Digestion. Digestion is the process of breaking food down into simple molecules that can be used by cells for cellular respiration. Removal of waste. The removal of waste products from the cell or from the body is called excretion. The excretory system of most animals consists of organs, such as the kidneys, that collect and process waste, which are removed from the body. In a cell, wastes are stored in vacuoles and eventually are excreted through the cell membrane. Stimulus response, or irritability. An organism must have a way to react to stimuli in its environment in order to survive. The nervous system allows complex organisms to receive and react to stimuli. Plant responses to stimuli are called tropisms. Growth and repair. Multicellular organisms grow and repair damaged parts by making new cells by cell division. Growth is the result of an increase in the number of cells in the organism rather than an increase in the size of the individual cells. Gas exchange. Respiration is a physical process during which oxygen and carbon dioxide gases are exchanged with the environment. Oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is released. In a complex organism, the respiratory system performs this function through the actions of the lungs, vessels, and blood cells. Reproduction. Organisms make more organisms like themselves in 2 ways. Asexual reproduction, which has 1 parent, or sexual reproduction, which has 2 parents. In each case, the instructions for development of the new organism comes from the DNA in the nuclei of cells. Section F. Many factors in an organism or cell's environment influence life processes. An organism or a cell attempts to maintain a balance or homeostasis by adjusting its activities or life processes to change in the environment. The availability of necessary materials or the surrounding conditions, such as temperature, may cause the rate of the process to change or cause it to stop. For example, the respiration rate in fish change in response to the amount of oxygen in the water. The amount of oxygen in the water is affected by the temperature of the water. As the water temperature increases, the oxygen dissolved in the water decreases. The amount of sunlight, climate changes, natural catastrophes, and human activities such as pollution and development are examples of conditions that affect the rate of life processes in plants and animals. This concludes the reading for the Cellular Organization and Life Processes section.